Hi, I'm Anne-Marie and I'm joined by Derrick Mason. Derrick Mason describes himself as he was a career criminal from his mid to late teens to mid 40s. Um, and I'd just like to ask Derrick, what happened between the last prison sentence that you got when you walked into the prison cell the first day, between when you left and you decided you weren't going to go back to your previous lifestyle?
Yeah, hello everyone. What happened from? Well, I can answer that by telling you how I felt
Okay.
like the first night that I went in, and then how I felt like the night that I left, and then what the difference was. Or I can look at
Yeah.
it like that because I've never
Yeah.
even looked at it like that before, Emery. That's a good question, actually. Um, yeah, the night when I first night when I was in there, like I said, my mum had just passed away. I just buried my mum 2 weeks earlier. I was meant to go on holiday to Jamaica 2 weeks after that date, and my son was due like 3 months time, and I knew that I wasn't getting out for now because of what I got caught with and everything else. I knew I wasn't getting out for now. So that first night, it was just like a cascade of thinking of I'm not going to be there for my son's birth. Um, no, my son was 3 months old. Sorry, my son was 3 months old. Yeah, he was 3 months old. So I'm not going to be there for my son growing up. My children are going to be early teens, going into secondary school. It's a whole lot of thinking. And I suppose my thinking was just geared to when I get out, I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. And it was nothing to do with anything good. It was all catch up now because I'm this stage and that stage, and I'll just be a bit smarter and I'll just do this. And while I'm here, I must meet some people that can feel me and unplug me. And when I get out, I've hit the big time. And yeah, it was that sort of stormy thinking. It wasn't to where even when I was at Thames, because I was landed at Thameside, I was at Thameside and I had a link, and I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And that was my new plan to make money. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And funnily enough, is I got shipped to Only. I had a good job and everything, and I got shipped to Only from after getting a sentence. I got shipped to Only, and that's where I got more depressed because in Thameside I was doing all right. I was like at the top of the tree sort of thing, and living my best life, so to speak. So when I went to Only, it was like deeper into the system, harder to get visits. I was getting visits three times a week. I was seeing my son 3 times a week when I was in Thameside. Went to Only, didn't get a visit. Didn't get no. I was there for just over a year, and I never get no visits. So it's like I've been sunk deeper into the system. I just got down in myself, and the thinking just got more erratic, more wild. On yet when I get out, definitely gonna do this, definitely gonna do that. But I just need to get to DCAT. So when I said, all right, let me go on Beyond Recovery because it will help you get DCAT, that's what I went on Beyond Recovery for. And what Beyond Recovery, the main thing Beyond Recovery done for me when I was away, which led me to on my way out, was I used to have this thing like before I come out, I'll be stressing and thinking, what am I going to do? Right, I'm going to do this. Right, I can phone that guy, I can phone that guy. But before all of that, every single time, it was right. I'm going to go to job center. I've got because when I'm away, I always do qualifications. So I've got plastering qualifications, engineering qualifications, painting and decorating qualifications, bricklaying. I've got a drawer full of them. And every time I'll do it, I'll say, yeah, that's what I'm going to do when I get out. I'll get out, find out that the qualification I got ain't worth the paper it's printed on, and just end up saying, you know what, I'm just going back to what I usually do. So all the time before I will get out, I'll be stressing about what I'm going to do. But Beyond Recovery gave me this little thing to say, do you know what? I can't control what's going to happen in the future. So just be easy and just know that you're not going to do, something in you tells you you don't want to do what you used to do. So you must find a way. And it's that key thinking from like the day I got in until the day I got out that I don't have to do what I usually used to do. That doesn't have to be an option for me. And that alone just kept me, because there weren't really no tests in there to say, right, let myself go, just go with the flow and something will come to me. When I come out now, I've got to make the big leap and just know that something will come to me. And lo and behold, something came to me. And then that led on to me being here speaking on your show. So yeah, I think that did that answer your question. You're mute, Amory.
I did that with Omar as well. Yeah, now you're director of the board and not chairman of the board. What's it called? Member of the board, the director as well, aren't you? A member of the board of.
Yeah, I'm board of directors at 3PGC, and I'm a director at Beyond Recovery now as well. Yeah, so even things like that just, because if I go back to my insight, when I first had my insight was mainly based, I thought my insight was mainly based on my potential and what I could be. And from what I've seen, I just saw I could be more than what I was. I think that's how it goes for me. I can be more than what I am at that moment. And just to see that sort of, to me, that's the world. Because really, I'm probably thinking that I ain't got my own potential more than with the space I'm in now. So to see that there's an inch more potential there that I could achieve, that just gave me a lift. And then when I've come out, I've started to go back into Nottingham, work for Beyond Recovery, and the potential just got a little bit bigger. And then I've got offered the directorship. My name came up for the board of directors at the 3PGC. I went for it, I got it, and it's like, wow, my potential just got a little bit bigger. So every time where I am, I just seem to be seeing more potential. So from I first saw that potential when I was in my cell to what I see now, I know that it's always just in front of me, my potential. So that just makes it limitless, basically. So anytime I'm stressing that I want to get to a place, I don't need to stress to get there, because I know that my potential, if that's my potential, it will take me there. And that's how I try to approach everything right now. And that's got me in a good space.
So when you were in Nottingham, was that a knife crime project or something that you're involved with there?
Yeah. And that's sort of like when I first got my first taste of interacting with inmates or people that are away and seeing their reaction to just seeing me. Because I've seen people inside before and I've just gone, oh, yeah, he used to be inside, yeah. But that was my thinking. But when I've gone in there and people have just looked up to me and started speaking to me, and I'm not in there speaking, I'm speaking their language, but I'm in there speaking 3Ps and love and heart, and they're coming to that level. It's not like, oh yeah, he's talking that rubbish. Oh, I thought he was like us. No, they're coming to that level and we're talking, and I can feel them being a younger me, if that makes sense. Where I was blind and I don't need what you've got to offer me, but oh, it looks interesting though. Tell me some more. And I love just feeding them more and seeing their spark grow. And then I won't say all of them, all of them had impact, but not all of them, the penny properly dropped. And when that penny properly dropped, it was just a beautiful thing to see. And that just made me know, like, everything I've ever done physically in my life, no matter what it be, I've never had that feeling of just a good feeling of, no, I'm doing the right thing. And that what led me to know, this is what I have to do in life. This is what I have to do. And yeah, and in a way, it's the same feeling that I had when I first got the principles and had that feeling of I can do anything. It's just a freeing feeling. When I was doing that, it was just a freeing feeling of this is just what I want to do. I'll do it for free. I said to Mum, I feel guilty because they was paying me. I said, I feel guilty collecting wages for coming here and doing it because I feel so good. Yeah, but yeah, that's just how I felt then. And like I said, even how I look at me then to how I am now, I can see the stages what got me here, but it looks like two different people, if that makes sense. But when I map the stages, I can see the progress. But when I look straight back at that person, I can't see like, oh yeah, and relate sort of thing. I have to go through it, if that makes sense, to relate.
So if you were to talk to the 15 or 16-year-old Derrick now, what would you say to him?
You know what? When I was 15 or 16, yeah, I was a late developer, let's just say. So I wasn't on the streets and on the roads. That's why I got myself in so much trouble as well, because I went on the roads early. So when I did get on the roads at like 18, other people out there were 2, 3, 4 years ahead of me. So I had to do some catching up and I weren't too savvy on what the catching up process was. But if I would have spoke to me at 15, 16, I would have said, you know what, just have see that little voice that you keep on listening to and you've eventually just discarded. Just listen to it. Just listen to it. Because it has spoken to me quite a few, and I have just put it down to, because the norm is not, the science is not to say, oh, that's what happened. And you keep on talking about that too much, people will start saying, you know what, yeah, he's a funny farm candidate because he's talking about all woo-woo and woo-woo. And but just to know, just to have, to trust myself. That's what I would say. Trust myself. Just trust myself. Too often I've trusted too much. I've trusted in that young age, that 15, 16, 17. I've trusted in what I've seen outside and believed that that's what I have to do or that's what I have to aspire to. And really something inside me knew that I had other things. I should have been doing something else. But I guess it was a little child. True, the voice is like a childlike voice or innocent voice. You know, I didn't really want to listen or follow. I'm trying to be a big man now. I'm trying to do what everyone else is doing. So yeah, I can't be listening to that little voice talking. But I would have told my 15-year, 16-year-old self, just be true to yourself and listen to yourself. Try to listen to yourself a bit more often. Mute again, Anne-Marie.
Has anybody else got any questions for Derrick?
How we doing, bro?
Brilliant, Pete.
I've got a question. How many times, because obviously you had quite a long criminal time, didn't you? So how many times did you actually end up in prison?
Right. On this last sentence, yeah, I worked it out, and I think all in all, I've done 7.5 years in prison from the age of 17 until the age of 46.
Wow.
Yeah, and I worked it out as, because out of that, I've taken, for my first daughter, I was away when she was born, so I took 4 months out of her life. Then when my second daughter was born, I was away for 18 months, so I took 18 months out of her life. And then when my son was born, I took 2.5 years out of his life. But the big girl, she got all of them, if that makes sense. I was out of her life for all of them period, that chunk. But the other two is different. But yeah, 7.5 years. And if I was to be brutally honest, that 7.5 years was sporadic and split over a long period of time. And in between that time, I had a lot of fun and I done a lot of things. And the collateral damage, what I've seen, I'm not like a prolific prison goer, should I say. It's only in the last few years, like the last 10 years, is when it's really like I've put in the years. But I still see it as, like I said, not prolifically, like, because I know people that have done 25 years, they're 45 and they've done 25 years behind the door, and that's just standard. But I wasn't looking for no major change. There wasn't no major problem. 7.5 years, the amount of the life I've lived, the things I could have done, I'll take that 7.5 years. That's how I was thinking. That's a what is it called? Occupational hazard. Compared to the life I've lived, compared to the thing I've thingy and potential what I've got on to do, yeah, I'll take that. I would have taken that. That's why when I bumped in on recovery, I didn't have a problem. My life was sweet. I just need you guys to get me to DCAT. And as soon as I get to DCAT, things can start running. My boys we can start linking up and doing whatever. And then, yeah. But then even that, because I never get to DCAT, little did I know that the people that I was, my 3 boys, they were under observation. And when I came out, they all got 22 years. So if I would have been a little bit before in DCAT and doing something or whatever, then I could have been, and I always think of that. I always think of that. Always, 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 always. And to take it back even further, if I wasn't doing the 5 that I got for what I got that for, I definitely wouldn't be doing that right now. So I see little things like, I don't know if that's why I got arrested. I don't know if that's what I thingy, but I just know that the bigger picture was I met beyond recovery, and it doesn't matter if that's what I was thinking. I know that where the path I'm on now, I can look at that and know that I'm never gonna have a shave like that again. Never gonna have a close shave like that again, because my path is in such a different direction, and I want to try and stop other people from having shaves like that and seeing the wrongs in their ways before it takes 7.5 years out of their life. Because like I said, I'm like 46, and when I went there, I see that for the first time, it's like a young person's game. Everyone's there like 17, 18, 19, sure, I'm of a certain stature, they can look and say, all right, uncle or whatever, and don't. But if you don't look in the right way, these little kids are coming, and it's all just, it's not for people of my age. It's like, yeah, I'm in retirement age, but I'm finding myself in situations with these people, and it's just some of them 25, 26, got 8, 9 years behind under their belt. And it's like, and they just see that as, like I said, occupational hazard. I'll do a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'll accept 2, 3 years living a good life. And that is something, because even that, when I said it just now, that sounded messed up, but I remember thinking like that when I was in there, and I calculated it, and I goes, no, but I've done this, I've been there. Yeah, I had that time. Yeah, no, I'll take that. I shouldn't be able to take a day, really. That mindset, I think that's something in that mindset, to think that it's an occupational hazard, so that's accepted. And the knock-on effect that it's had on my children and my family, that's prized. That cannot be brought back. So yeah, that mindset, I'm glad it's changed, but just me looking at it now, just seeing it, just yeah, it's a pretty stark thing to say, actually. Yeah.
Can I say, you said, Derrick, you took time out of their lives, your kids, but you know, it wasn't something you did on purpose. You were doing the best you can, as you know, under the circumstances. Yeah, it was just innocent thinking at the time. But it just really struck me when you said you took time out of their lives. That was quite strong there, yeah. But yeah, you did and you didn't. Do you know what I mean? You know, you certainly never did it on purpose. No prisoner does. It was interesting, that remark.
And to do with that, as you know, I haven't even told them. So I don't even know if they're in the room next door. So yeah, I don't even know if they know. I really know. I haven't sat them down and told them. And that, again, that's something that I have to respect, because that's something that me not telling them is something that I used to believe before, because the shame and the people, their school friends, the parents, all of that stigma that goes with it is, no, I don't want none of that. But with my new understanding, that's shifted. But I have to respect the mother of their mother, who me and her used to think the same way. So now I've parted and going, no, I don't care, everyone should know. I can still see her squirming, and I can feel what she feels, even though I don't feel it now. So I have to sort of respect that. I would not gladly go on the rooftops and shout it, but I will be prepared to go on the rooftops and shout it. But in a way, I'm kind of held back by my old thinking, which is in her head, sort of thing. But I have to respect that, if that makes sense. Because I can't just say to her, no, what you talking this rubbish is your thinking, man. No, we're going to tell everybody. Because then I wouldn't, in my situation before, I wouldn't have liked that to happen to me. Because the last thing I want is people to know my big, well, he's a criminal. Oh, I thought he was a good guy. No. Judgment and all of that. But that's just in my head. But until she's ready, then we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But I'm ready. But like doing all these little things and things like this. The other day she found me on YouTube and she's like, Dad, you're on YouTube. I'm like, what? No, what are you talking about? No. No, you know what? I saw it and I thought, and I goes, is it? That's not me. I pressed play. And when it pressed play, I was talking about something and I know what was coming next. Yeah, because when I was in, I was going, what? Okay, yeah, no. And we had a conversation and we said, we have to tell them. And she's like, yeah. But still, we haven't said, this is the time to tell them, because it's just being pushed in the corner. But I have to sort of respect that. I ain't going to push that. if that makes sense. So yeah.
What happens if you go viral?
Yeah, it's out of my control then, isn't it? It's out of my control. But that's something that I want to do before that happens, though, if that makes sense. So then they know, and because I'm blessed with two of the most beautiful kids in the world. When I know when I tell them, they ain't gonna have no thinking, they ain't gonna have no, it's just gonna be that. And I think that'd even release something, because they must have their own little thinking about why one day they woke up and dad wasn't here. And I got the phone call when I'm in there. I want to speak to your boss. I'm like, what? I want to speak to your, because I told him I was at work. I want to speak to your boss. Why don't you? Because I want to tell him he has to let you come home for Christmas. Why is he not letting you come home for Christmas? I need to speak to him. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh, you know, and how come you didn't go for an interview? You just woke up one morning and went for a job. And I was like, whoa, you're 14 and you're 13 and you're asking me them questions. Yeah. So all the thinking that must have been going on in their head to lay out the truth must ease some of that as well. So yeah, it's just a time in progress, and I just have to respect the thinking for now. Well, that's how I see it. Unless anyone else sees something different, I can.
Yeah, you were saying respect there, because obviously you mentioned respect a lot. It's you know, your their mum. It comes from fear, doesn't it? You know, her worrying that you'll lose respect, she'll lose respect, the kids will lose respect. So it is a time and a place when, you know, because you could feel brilliant, you know, I could feel brilliant sharing stuff with my kids, but you know, there is a time. There's a time, isn't there? And sometimes there isn't a time and never will be, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, cool.
I think when you're close to people as well, it makes things more difficult because you've got more invested, and you know them so well that, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but
Can I just ask another question, Derrick? Obviously, you found Beyond Recovery. Was there any other programs like that? You know, in previous sentences or anything? Nothing at all.
None. That was, I think, the way Mama J got in there was through, like, it weren't addiction and it weren't mental health, because then people are guarded over their services. So if you say you're doing addiction, no, we do that. What is that you're doing? Oh, you're spiritual. I get out of here. We do mental health. What? So then they got in through a little niche where that doesn't happen in there. When the first one I went to, when they said, you don't write anything, you don't think, this is about, we're talking about how you think and how you thingy and how you, and I was like, oh yeah, and not being into it, but I've always felt like a little spiritual vibe sort of thing. I've known there's a bigger something than what we all know or whatever, but oh yeah, that perked a little interest. And just the nature of the no paper, no thingy, let's just talk. What do we talk about? What happened today? What happened to you yesterday? What's happening out there now? What happened? That's how we talk. And that, I've never seen that before. Never. And that's what made it totally different from, and like I said, it comes down to people saying to me, what happened to you? How are you feeling? No, how are you really feeling? And it's like, well, yeah, I feel okay. What, look where you are, in a shit place, man, you feel okay. And then you see someone next to you just start pouring their heart out and saying, oh, you know what, oh shit, oh, that guy out there, every time I go out there, I feel pressure. And you're like, whoa, I feel the same. Your first instinct is to say like, what? No, he's weak. But when you look around, you see everybody in the same sort of space. And it's like, rah, I kind of hear what he's saying. I do. And then what I say after that softens up somebody else. And before you know it, we're all in this soft space and don't want to go out the room anymore, because we know that when you go out the room, the soft space is finished. You go out there, you have to put your mask on as you leave. But that, it had a reverse effect. You would think that people would look in and see a bunch of loved up guys and think, oh, they're weak, let's prey on them. But it was everyone looking in and thinking, what's going on in there? And they'll be staring at the door, holding the door, and like, open the door like, miss, what's this class? What's going on in there? Or if they know one of us, oh, what's this class about? What's going on? Be like, oh, this thing, oh, what, can I come on this class, miss? There was like an attraction. And even the officers would look and walk and had so much interest in what are they doing? Because when we was in there, it was just like a bubble against everything else that was going on. And not only us in the bubble, people outside could see it and feel it. And then when we would come out, everyone would be smiling and everything, you know, what the hell have you been doing to these guys? And then attitudes changed towards that, towards us, towards me personally. I saw that when I started doing Beyond Recovery, and I started working for them. Doors started to open for me, and officers started to look at me as, because maybe it's a bit of both. I started to see officers as human beings, and maybe as I see them as human beings slightly, maybe they'd start to treat me back as a human being a little bit more. Maybe it's a bit, I just saw it as the other way. That, yeah, maybe they've seen me work for Beyond Recovery, right, treat him a little bit. But no, maybe I've, because that's what they showed us, that one of the first things I learned is that everyone's the same. So that from the policeman that arrested me, to the judge that gave my sentence, to the officer at court, to the officers in the prison, they're all feeding their family, doing what they think is best in the moment to put food on the table. And what their occupation happens to be, however, got them there. And I'm the same. It's just that my occupation places me in direct competition to the guys I'm moaning about. Yeah. So they're just doing their job. Just give them a break. Just give them a break. And I kind of saw that, and maybe that little shift allowed them to see me as just maybe a more human. But I don't know. That's a question that I'll probably never be able to answer.
I think it's human nature to take things personally. So maybe when you got arrested, you thought you hated him because he was the guy to arrest you, and then you were sent down. You hated the judge because he was on to send you down, and they were just, like you said, just doing their jobs, and it wasn't personal against you. It was just you happened to be there in front of them at that time.
Sounds so simple when you say it like that, you know, just like break it down. But yeah, when you're in that space of not looking back into yourself, accountability doesn't finish here. There's always a slippery slope off to somewhere else, right? And you can always make it stick. So with enough thinking, you can always make it stick. So yeah, but it's good that I don't, not to say I don't even think like that no more, but I just see it and I just know it for what it is. So it doesn't have the effect. So I don't think not one thought I used to have before has left me. Whether I pick them up at the river as often or whether I even notice them anymore is different. But yeah, it's what I'm familiar with, is what I'm used to seeing now. So I'm thinking about work, I'm thinking about moving forward, VIP, thinking all of that sort of stuff. I'm not saying I don't think about other stuff, but I just probably don't pay as much attention. And yeah, I'm in a nice space now.
So yeah, you mentioned the VIP, so that's another element of your job, isn't it? You're sort of training and facilitating. I bet you didn't see that in your future, did you, a few years ago?
Definitely not, Amory. That's like that's one of the things where you lovely people most people was on the VIP. I love you all, yeah. And I've never met a single one of you. But I know you and love you and feel and like so well. And in the short time that we spent with each other, I didn't think anything like that was possible. But that's what taught me again, through the material that we're going through or the nature of the course that we was doing, I'm in a softer space. I'm trying to show you a softer space, but by me doing that, I'm in a softer space and I'm soaking up everything that you are letting out to me. And it's pure love just coming back. And I've just unconsciously soaked it all up. So then when I see, like, come on this call and I see Lizzie's face, my heart just goes. And when I see Wendy, it's just like, yeah, sorry, Pete and Anne-Marie, I see you guys all the time. I know if I never see you as often, it would be the same. But yeah, it's just, but I just feel, and that surprised me, that swept my feet away. The night of the actual graduation, the emotion that was in my chest, and I looked at the screen and basically it was basically a lot of white people and I thought, you know what, no, I never think I could have that thing in my heart just to say I would impact these people, the working people like Liz and Anne-Marie, and you lot have always been in my head, just above. You lot are working people. You lot, I can't do that stuff. I don't interact with them people. I interact with my people, and I do. Yeah, maybe a one-away, I can have a one-away conversation, but to actually feel that and feel a connection and feel like we're one, and all the barriers of color, I don't see that, and that's gone. That's totally gone. where there might have been remnants and I thought, yeah, I don't see that no more. I had to tell, I don't see that. I don't see that. But now I just do not see that. I just do not. I just do not. I just do not. And that just broke me down to like pure, just, that's,
sorry, that was the biggest thing with Beyond Recovery that impacted me as well, that it just sort of takes everything away. You just don't see those labels anymore. You just, don't even see gender. You just don't see anything. You just see we're all equal and we're all the same and we're all doing the best we can.
That's another, that's the reflection, because I was saying to Mama J today, if I can see the innocence in somebody, I can see that situation in me. So I'm a bit more easy on myself. And likewise, if I'm in a situation and I feel a way, and I remember a certain person was acting that way before, then I see the innocence in that situation now. And I see that, because me and the mother of children going through a little thing right now, she's a bit spiky and I've been reacting. But I just said to myself, you know what? Obviously, when you're like that, you're hurting. So me reacting back is not gonna, so I have to do come with it from a different tact to a different approach. But my heart's not saying that, and my head's not saying that. But you know what? My wisdom, that's the right thing to do. So that's what I'm gonna try and, that's what I'm going through as well. But that, I can sort of like see it for what it is and just know that the innocence, it's just the innocence. It's just the innocence. And if I keep on coming back to that, then I know I'm gonna be all right. I know I should be all right.
Sorry, could I just say the learning is a two-way thing and always is, and that never stops, is it? You know, and I just wanted to add, you know, with the VIP, I got stuff out of it, but I got far more out of it when it was over, with tuning into Mr. Pete Mears, all that lovely WhatsApp stuff, and all these after sessions that have gone. It's like the tree, all the branch, what you're doing, Amber, everything. I got far more out of that because it continues growing than I did VIP. And I with respect, I say that, but it's continued hugely, you know, it's great. And it actually, I've done some other short programs, you know, cheap and cheerful programs around 3Ps, but none of them are like this tree that branches out like Beyond Recovery was. You do a program, that's it. That's good. Yeah, I enjoyed that, but not like Beyond Recovery. Sorry.
Oh, the dog agrees, Wendy.
And, do you know what I'll say to you as well, Wendy? It's like the universe. It's always expanding. And you see when you get to a certain point and it gets so big, you won't even remember the little tiny little dot at the center called the VIP, where it all started. What's happening out here is so much more, because that's what you're saying happened to me. The course that I went on in there is insignificant to me right now, but that's what shifted me. But what I'm feeling on the expanse, what I'm riding on that wave is just so exciting and so good that the people the person who worked at the Beyond Recovery course that impacted me doesn't even work for Beyond Recovery no more. I don't even, her name's Liz, but she done well, but I'm bigger, I'm moving on now sort of thing. So to think back to that, it all happens after that. It all happens after that. It all happens. And it didn't even happen, for me, it didn't even happen in the class. It happened, I heard something in the class and I went back and then something resonated with something and it happened outside. So, but that was just a catalyst for it. But yeah, just the expanse, Wendy.
That was exactly the same for me. It didn't happen really in the class. And I was listening to people saying, well, and I thought, yeah, it's all right. But then it was after, but yay. So patience.
Yeah.
Same for me, Wendy. There were lots of it that I thought, oh, it's a bit like shopping. I always think everything goes back to shopping with me. I'll put that in the basket and I'll put that in the basket. Oh, that's good. I'll put that in the basket. But actually, the real learning, the real learning, and I knew that it all fell into place after the course because it was how I was feeling, and it all went back to that, and there was a complete shift. And it wasn't about the things I'd written down in my little notebook and, you know, my little log. It wasn't, that's great to have, and I pick it up from time to time. but it was how I felt. And what I love is we've got this community now. We're like a family, and there's lots of things on, and it, you know, you can't go to everything, but it wouldn't matter if you missed 2 or 3 weeks and you couldn't get to anything, because when you do join a Zoom, it's as though you were only with people yesterday. You know, and that's why I know that we're all really close. We're so close, we're so connected, and it's just amazing how it's carried on after the course finished, and it will. That's it now for life. Stuck with each other.
Yeah, I love that, Liz. Sorry, Derek. I was just going to say VIP for me and Beyond Recovery, it just planted that seed. And what Wendy was getting at about it's branching out, and now it's just a massive tree. You know, we're just forever expanding. But it all does come from Beyond Recovery, planting that seed in me, and now I'm going out sharing it. Yeah, so yeah, I love it. So thanks, Del.
Yeah, I was going to say, it comes back to that feeling that, because, you know, I always try to look into, you see, the first insight that I had, the thing that actually opened the gate for me. And I can't even recall back to what it is, if truth be told. It's like, you know, I don't remember how the package came here. I just remember what happened when I opened the package. I don't remember what the postman looked like. I just remember what happened when I opened the package. The feeling, that's what I got, that feeling. And that's the same feeling that I've been kind of following. And it's the same feeling that I'm here with you, the same feeling that I followed that led. So it's just follow the feeling trail. Yeah, just follow that feeling trail. And that's what I'm enjoying doing now. That's what I'm enjoying doing. That's something I never used to do. I never used to trust in that. Probably in my life, probably 95% of my life was lived on the straight track. And then maybe I'll get a little high in my head and think, ooh, do something a little bit off the feeling. But yeah, but now I try to go a lot off of that feeling, because that feeling is what keeps me grounded and what keeps me looking in the straight and narrow.
I'm feeling all loved up now. I can't think of anything else to say. Has anybody else got any questions or any comments?
Just thanks for sharing, Derek. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's lovely. And Pete, you're going to be my victim next week, aren't you?
Yeah.
This is your life.
Yes.
You have to be a certain age to remember those.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we probably all are, aren't we?
I'm afraid I qualify.
Yes, yeah.
And we're all in that age group.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh no, thanks, Derek. That was really lovely.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Right,
Yeah,
well,
lovely.
no, thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you
That's
for
all right.
inviting me and
Yeah.
asking me those. A few of the questions you asked me, I've never really thought of them. I've never really thought of things like from that angle before.
Yeah.
So it's good to see things new. How maybe I thought I'd seen them, but
I was trying to go for different angles, so I'm glad it worked.
That's brilliant.
Okay.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
All right then, guys.
See you all soon.
See you later.
Soon.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, Liz. See you, Wendy.
Bye, bye, bye.
Anne-Marie, Wendy.
Bye. Bye.